What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today in this video, guys, I'm going to show you the Too Much Money strategy. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can get the full Medium article on how this thing works. But before we get started, we got to say thanks to our sponsors. OKX, they are actually being generous. They're giving out $10 in free Bitcoin for those who sign up. Links in the description below so you guys can go ahead and check that out. If you guys want to go ahead and get started trading with OKX, y'all know what to do. So here's a couple things you need for too much money. This is a arbitrage strategy, taking advantage of the Tomb, Peg, and Phantom prices. What you will need is Phantom for gas. You will also need to add this chain onto your MetaMask. Link will be in the description below. You'll need some knowledge on Tomb Finance and how to use a MetaMask. Let me go ahead and give you a quick background on Tomb Finance. Tomb Finance is a token that's seeking to be pegged to one Phantom. This protocol has been going on for over 1 year. Tomb does this by creating LP pools and rewarding the token holders that deposit, or the LP token holders, in T-Share token. The T-Share, you can stake this over in the Masonry in order to earn the Tomb token, so it has its own little economy involved to sustain the peg. If you guys want to learn more about the pegging mechanisms and get into that, there is also a link in that Medium article. I'll leave in the description below. What's different about Tomb Finance and all the other Tomb forks is one guy. His name is Harry Yeh. This guy is a mega billionaire. Notice how this is under $1 billion in TVL. Being that he's a mega billionaire, he's incentivized to have this Tomb Finance token, or the Tomb token, be pegged to one Phantom. He's creating an exchange called Felix. Felix Exchange is going to be an exchange almost like a Binance or an OKX, etc. And all the token pairs are going to be tradable against the Tomb token. So these are his use cases for the Tomb token itself. He needs to have Tomb be successful. That's the catalyst for Tomb Finance, and that's what's helping maintain its peg. It's mainly Harry. And this is really why the strategy is being able to play out as it will play. Bear in mind, there will be a day when Harry doesn't bail out and buy the dip. I'll explain that later in this video, but let's go and get into the strategy. As you guys can see here, this is a chart on Tomb. I'm going to shrink my face to get it out of the way. This Tomb token constantly actually has a history of ranging above one Phantom and below one Phantom. As you can see here, sometimes it gets as high as 1.1 Phantom, and sometimes it gets as low as, 0.7 Phantom. As soon as Harry took over, though, this was after this crazy crash over here. Actually, this was the early yield farming days. But after a crazy crash, I think it was probably this candle right here where it went nuts. Like, we're talking millions and millions and millions of this Tomb being bought up. Harry brought it back to peg. He's like, hey, look, I'm going to take this over. And as you can see here, it ranges between these pegs. The strategy is to buy it when it's below peg and sell it above peg. I know it's easier than it sounds, but you need to discipline yourself. Yes, you may not get something like the 0.7 and then sell it at the 1.2. But the case is you're going to be profiting off of the different spreads. Now, we try not to be greedy with this strategy. The strategy is to buy Tomb when it's at 0.98 Phantom. So as you can see here, right now, one Tomb token is worth 0.99 Phantom. So in order for us to buy in some, we would wait till it's 0.98. You can also dollar cost average in as well. If you have 1,000 Phantom, what you can do is you can sell 500 or 400 of the Phantom into Tomb and then arb it out and slowly DCA in. Because if, let's say, for example, you did 500, just even, you do 500 at 0.99 and then 500 at 0.98, your dollar cost average is going to be 0.985. So it's close to the butter, but you guys get the point. Now, once we buy into at the lower price of Tomb, we can now sell it at 1.01. So now we're going to arb that and get a, depending on when you bought, a 2.5 to 3% arb. So if we start with 1,000 Phantom, at the end we'll have 1,030. 1,030, shouldn't it only be 1,020? Well, no, because when you bought the Tomb at 0.98, you turned your 1,000 Phantom into 1,020. And then when it goes to 1.01, you are now selling 1,020 Tomb tokens for 1.01 Phantom. So you're actually getting that bonus 10. So that's where the 3% comes into play. So you guys can keep that in mind. That is just like the quick summary and quick overview of the Tomb arbitrage strategy. Now, it gets more complex if you guys want to make it more complex. And a couple of frequently asked questions are, I could be farming with my Tomb and Phantom tokens. Well, yeah, sure, you can do that as well. But you can also single side stake your Tomb and Phantom tokens, sometimes a higher yield than what they display here. Let me show you guys the cemetery. For the Tomb and Phantom LP being paid in T-Share, the T-Share token is only paying you 65% APR. That's great. Awesome. Now let me go ahead and go over to one of my favorite yield farming protocols. It's called Tater Tot. Actually, it's called Taro. You can see here, you can actually get 87% on your Tomb token. You can get 84% here. You can get 76% here. You can get 87 here. You can actually almost get 100% on your Tomb token here. You also have Impermamax, which Impermamax allows you to single side lend, but you have no impermanent loss. So say for example, Tomb goes to 0 and you have some Phantom and you have some Tomb. Well, your Tomb, it goes to 0, but you still have your Phantom. Whereas in the LP, if it goes down, everything else goes down with it. Obviously, that's like Black Swan event. That's like no bueno. Harry doesn't buy it back to peg. So this is a risky strategy. This is not a beginner strategy, guys. You have to be careful with this. But when your assets are idle, in between the arbitrage strategies, you can throw them into Taro, where these are going to earn a yield for you and compound. So these yields actually beat the yields on Tomb Finance. You're earning the T-Share over here, so if you're wanting T-Share instead, well, I guess that's a little bit different. Now, this is where you can get even more advanced. If you want to take a delta neutral strategy and have no exposure to Phantom whatsoever, all you do is you use a protocol called Aave. Aave is pretty swoop. So what you can do on Aave is you can either lend out some Bitcoin, you can lend out some Ethereum, you can lend out some stable coins, whatever you want, and you're just going to go and borrow the Phantom token. As you guys can see here, you could borrow Phantom on the other side, and all you would have to do is the Phantom you borrow, you use this in your arbitrage. So if I put up $1,000 worth of, well, actually, let's just say $2,000 worth of USDC, I can then borrow $1,000 worth, or 1,000 Phantom tokens, because it's going to be less than the loan to value ratio. Bear in mind, you need to watch your health factor for this strategy, but basically I'm going to only pay 7% per year in order to borrow this. And don't forget, you're earning a yield on your stables or your Bitcoin, whatever you deposit on the other side. So you're still taking some of that on the other side, so it kind of offsets the interest rate you're going to pay. What you do with this Phantom, you now borrow, is you deploy it into the strategy, to where you make 3% every ARB, and then you compound that. That is some juicy APR. Now I know what you're saying. Well, that makes no sense. Like, what if Phantom goes to 0? Okay, dude, your debt is denominated in Phantom. So if Phantom goes to 0, you're a happy man, because your debt, well, actually, you don't care because you took a delta neutral. You were actually arbing that. So all you have to do is, let's say, for example, Phantom goes to 1 penny, and you borrowed 1,000 Phantom, and after the arb strategy, you now have 1,300 Phantom. All you do is repay the 1,000 Phantom, no harm, no foul, and now you have 300 free Phantom for nothing. Hey, maybe it's worth a penny, but dude, you took the delta neutral strategy. Instead of having exposure to Phantom, you only had exposure to the yield. Yes, you do take on that risk when you're arbing the Tomb, that if Tomb goes to 0, that's no bueno. But as long as you're in Phantom, it's the sauce. So if you are taking this strategy with the delta neutral, make sure you're taking some off the table on the side. That way, if there is a Black Swan event with the Tomb token, you'll always be able to repay your loan. So these are a couple strategies you guys can use. It's called Too Much Money. If you guys want to read the full Medium article, links in the description below. If you guys want to jump in the Discord and see some other strategies and some other things I'm doing in the market, there's a link in the description below as well. I do want to make you guys aware of this update on Patreon. There is going to be a cap for the $99 per month. There's only 12 more spots left, and then it will go to $149 a month. So just making you aware of that. Both of the VIP tiers, whether it's the 99 or the 149, those have access to Discord. These other ones are just support channels. So I do appreciate your support. As always, guys, let's go ahead and hit you guys with a wisdom one-liner. Proverbs chapter 15, verses 4. The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. Be nice, be kind. You guys can also catch me on tweeters at Rent a Home Fast, like literally at Rent a Home Fast.